Hello, I'd like to show you how to use ChatGPT API with Python. So you've been doing some Python programming and now you'd like to know how to do something more. So first, go ahead and log into openai.com. At the top, you should be able to spot a place where it will say API, and you can log in with your Google account to that. You should end up on this Welcome to OpenAI page. Now, we can start in the examples area, and the examples are going to show us different ways that we can use ChatGPT API. Now, the chat of OpenAI, so where you go in to type in a question, so this interface right here, where you type in a question and then it tells you something back, that's ChatGPT. Now, how is AI different? AI is different that you can actually create your own program that is going to use the wisdom of AI, or you can provide the same functionality where the user types something in and you exactly output ChatGPT. So this video will be for showing just sort of the main ropes of how to do that. So QA is the kind of basic ChatGPT integration. Again, we're going to send the question to the AI and it will send us back a response. We're going to use that Text DaVinci 3 engine. Now, this engine is the basic text engine. There are others. So we're going to open this in the playground interface. Those are the different engines. And these engines are optimized for different work. We specifically are going to use the chat text engine. So right here, we can investigate whether we want the AI to be very accurate, zero temperature, meaning be cold and intelligent, or very high temperature, meaning show some randomness, make mistakes. A lot of times we'll set this to about half, meaning that it's going to take less time to produce the answers, and they're gonna be okay, right? They're gonna be within reason. Okay, so all these other properties are settings that we can provide in the request. And so we can actually preview how to write code for this specific functionality. In this instance, the Python code that's given is going to import the OS library and the OpenAI library, something that you have to install ahead of time. And then you would prompt with the API key. Now, the API key is something that ChatGPT will or OpenAI will issue to you. So that particular key you will have to provide for. So I think they give you $18 of credit when you first create it, so it's free for a while. And then if your application is deployed and you have a lot of people using it, they will start charging you for it, right? So that's the API key identifies you as the developer. And so here we're going to set some initial settings for the display. We set the engine. This is the prompt, and now usually that's what the user would type in. We are hard coding it here. This is the temperature that we talked about. And we're going to provide some additional end-of-line answers here or suggestions for the display. Now we can have this code in Node.js, so we can have this code in curl. Now curl happens to be a command line program that will simply send this request, hard-coded, sort of a JSON structure here, hard-coded question, and a text response will come back. This could be included as part of a shell script or any other, say PowerShell or any other system command. Now, instead of using this particular sample code, all right, I explored this with ChatGPT and I asked it to write the code for me. So I said, hey, write Python code to use ChatGPT API. And so it said, hey, no problem. It even suggested that I install OpenAI Secret Manager. So instead of just hard coding my API token, I can use this additional library, and then that token is stored somewhere. and importing Open API. And so in this code, which is quite straightforward, we're going to grab the secret that needs to be submitted with a request. This is how we extract the key out of the secret. We have the prompt, again, the engine, the model, and this is going to be the response that we received after we send all that data. The response comes back, and the response then will be parted. We would take the response, which comes in a JSON format. We are going to parse it into multiple parts, and we will say, out of the choices, select the first one, then take the text, and then make sure to get rid of any empty lines. Well, I didn't quite like this code because I didn't want to use the OpenAI library. So I said, hey, could you write the same code but without the OpenAI library? And so it said, hey, no problem. And it wrote out this code with using JSON library because we have to sort of manipulate the JSON string. So here when we're going to receive the JSON response. But I wasn't done yet. I also did not want to use, I didn't want to use the requests library. So I said, hey, could you write this with curl instead? So notice that it no longer includes requests. It basically went down to a different library. And now when we ask for the file to be sent, right, we provide the URL where the API is listening, and we have this command, and let's see, this is going to use the sub process to basically send it to the operating system, and the command is the curl command right here. Right? And so, hey, no problem. It's the same code, but a different iteration of it. But I wasn't done. I want to make sure that I also wasn't using the OpenAI Secret Manager. I just wanted to see sort of plain code. So, hey, what it did is it said, yeah, you can have this API key in any other format. In fact, you don't have to use the OS environment. You can just hardcode your API right here. That would be the simplest way to demonstrate how this code works. So you could actually get rid of import OS and replace this with a string. And then we have the URL. And this time we are using the requests library. And so the request library is going to send the request to the URL. It's going to then include the prompt. So whatever it is that we said, can you help me to write a Python program? And we're going to include the temperature here, so get a little bit more relaxed, so faster response, and we're going to print the output. Okay, so let's see if we can make this code work. So what we have so far is a couple of things. One, I have my API key. Now I will show you how the API key is created, because after this video I'm going to destroy it. So there, I'm not going to reveal anything that that is going to be still active then. But under your account, so you're logging to openapi.com. Under your account, you can go to view API keys. Now it doesn't show the entire key, right? Once it's created, you can look at it once, and then it's going to remember it, and it hopes that you can remember it as well. So this is my key. You can do create new key, and this is where you see your new key. This is where you copy it, and afterwards you go ahead and destroy that key. All right, I'm going to revoke both of these keys after the demo is done. Okay, so this key that I created earlier, right? That's the key. It ends in NX. That's the one right here. Again, if you put my key in, then I'm paying for your application to run, right? Again, you have, I think, about $18 of free work. Each request, it's a fraction of a cent, so it's plenty to get started on. And then in the bot, this is where I just copied and pasted exactly what Chat API gave me to work with. So now we're going to try to make this code work. I'm going to say Python and then run this program. So the first thing it says, hey, you have to get this requests library because you want to use it, you get it. We could have done the curl instead, right? But let's try to get requests. So we're going to say, go ahead and install requests. So pip is a program that allows us to add additional modules to our Python installation. Let's see what's happening here. Successfully installed this, and that. So we're going to clear the screen and we're going to try to run it again. Okay, something is happening, something's cooking, and now what does it say? It says generated text is this, and there is some error. Well, let's see what could be the error. Well, first of all, in our code, we did not specify the API key, so we expected an error, right? So I suspect that what's happening is we are getting the response not in the right JSON structure. I'm going to put here an extra print statement to see if I can print the entire JSON output just for our needs of sort of debugging. Okay, so notice that what actually came from ChatGPT was, hey, there's an error, incorrect API key provided, right? So they did not provide this response in the same format as a valid response would come. So that's why our response JSON was unable to find choices as one of the items. No trouble. So what we're going to do next is we're going to display our API key, and I'm going to copy it. We're going to put it into our system. Now I'm going to actually scrap the OS module, and we're going to do this. So we lighten the load to some degree, and we have our API key just hard-coded. Security-wise, a really bad idea. Again, after the video, I'll make sure that doesn't work, but I think this might be helpful. So, one more thing I want to change before we run it. Down here where it says hello, let's not write Python code at this point. We're just going to start with something silly like what time is it, right? Instead of having Python code come out as the output. So let's run it. And what do we have? You exceeded your current quota. Please check your plan billing details. Type insufficient quota. None, none, none. Well, that is not great. That means that we made a call. If we refresh this, it says, oh yeah, you used it last here. And there should be usage. There we go. So usage right here. Ooh, I see. I have a free trial here at $0. So, so that's not great. I think my Gmail account ended up with $0 in the. It ended up with $0. So I did not get the $18 as I expected. It might be that if you create your account with an EDU account, you get some extra money. So I'm going to change my key to a key that has some money on it. All right, so now I have my new key, and again, by the time this video is deployed, this key is not going to work, but let's clear the one that does not have any credits. And here is the key that has some credits on it. All right, and now let's run the program. So it sends the request out. The full request that comes back has some session information. We have the model, and note it right here. It says it is 1:15 p.m. right? And so this is how it displays it. If I was to go back to my program and to get rid of or just comment out my debug message, clear that out, and I run it, and now it is 9:47 p.m. Now, of course, we can make the bot to say something a lot more sophisticated, like why is Python a great programming language? And I love when the questions are already suggesting the response, you know. So there's the response right from the AI. But it might be that you are asking within your software, you are asking AI to evaluate something or to provide maybe feedback on a comment that was made, or maybe you're writing a discussion forum for a class, and when a human being puts a question, ChatGPT will provide an answer, and you post it in the discussion forum. All right. So this is our simple program. We import a couple of libraries. You saw how to install them if you're missing them. We're going to have a header. Header is important to the to making the request, because when you have a URL, you have to provide specific header. Are you asking for text back? We're going to ask for JSON back. And then we are providing the API key as the bearer, or it's an authentication piece. And so we make an authenticated request. The data here is specifically the prompt that we created. Why is Python a great programming language? We specified how accurate we want the response to be. And then we're going to pick the response JSON that comes back. And out of the JSON, we're picking a specific property, such as the text, and then displaying it back. Thank you.